So today we are going to see strange villain Rupesh. Hello Rupesh. It's taking time to load. Where are others? Only two people are watching. Okay, Avik is here. So I'm just loading ProTool. Six days are left. Oh, the application Pro Tools है encounter cancel. I have to restart it. Okay, so we have loaded, I guess. So just we are two already two viewers. Maybe I'll keep this session for 45 hours or maybe 45 minutes or 45 40 minutes or 45 minutes. Let's just quickly recall what we have already did in classes. Right, so yesterday's session test open. Alright, so yesterday we have seen importing audio, we have seen duplicating track, then we have seen this editing tools. Alright, so today we'll see, we have also seen shortcut keys for these tools F6, F7 and F8, right? We have seen smart tool activation. If you press two keys at the same time, this smart tool will get activated. Right then, now today we are going to see editing modes. Right before editing modes, I'll show you some quick editing tools in ProTool. Right, so let's say this audio is there, right? And if I want to cut after this cursor, right? Let's say I find out like this audio, I want this audio up to this point, and I don't want audio beyond this cursor, right? So I just have to press S, right? So pressing S will cut that audio event after cursor, right? And the same way, let's say if I don't want anything before cursor, let's say if I got this point and I don't want anything before this cursor, so I just have to press A. So it will cut before cursor, right? So this is how you cut before or after cursor, right? A and S, a shortcut key for before cutting and after cutting, right? Then again there is another way to put fade in and fade out, right? So if I zoom and let's say if I want to fade out from here, right? So what I just have to do, I have to press G option, right? So now you can see there is fade out over here, right? So audio will gradually will decrease, and at the end when it reaches at 0 point, it will completely get mute, right? So only your that particular audio will get muted, right? Not muted in the sense like the audio will reach to the infinity level. Okay, so if I play from here, right? So just move down. Same way you can add fade in. So it will start from infinity point and it will start raising the audio level, right? So if I press D over here, so you can see now it has applied fade in option, right? If you want to delete, you just have to click on those fade in or fade out, right? If I click over here and if I press delete, it will delete fade in. If I want to delete this fade out, I have to click on it, right? And then press delete, right? Another way is like you can go at the corner and you can just drag, you will get that fade out option at the corner, right hand side corner. So you can add fade out option, okay? And then same thing with fading. Right. Mostly, let's say if you want to gradually increase the audio level, that time you use this fade in and fade out. Another thing is like when you cut somewhere, let's say if I cut over here and then I have second cut over here, let's say we have move, and let's say after this audio is going to start, right? Just pretend like now we know like this is a song and it's not going to sound right, but let's just consider that this is what we have to audio, right? And then when it cuts at end, if you zoom in and if you see over here, it's cutted at some level, right? Some level is there, although it's in minus, but still there is a level, right? So what will happen? Your audio will get abruptly cut at some level, right? And that will create a sound, right? That crackling sound or click sound it will create. So we don't want that to be happen, right? So in that case, what we do, we add a small fade in option. So we just have to go at the end and we'll put a fade in. Oh, sorry, fade out. Right. So now you can see over here, from here, this audio level is going, is it will reach at this zero level. My audio will get cut at zero. So it will, my last point will become zero. Right. So that is the main point of fade in and fade out. Same thing will happen with audio clip starting at not at zero level but at some random level. Right. So over here we can see, so this audio is not starting from zero. So that's why again it will create, when we move, when we play this audio clip, it will create some uh, absurd sound at the start. Alright, so we don't want that. So that's why we always put fade in and fade out. Right, so it's always good habit whenever you are editing. It's always better to have fade in, fade out option. Right, although there is like shortcut key, instantly you can apply fade in, fade out for multiple files that we'll see later. Right, now let's see editing tools, editing options. Right, so there are editing modes, right? Editing modes are there. Right, so shuffle mode is there, sleep mode is there, spot mode is there, and grid mode is there. Shuffle is you can activate by pressing F1. By pressing F2, you can activate sleep mode, right? So if I press F1, shuffle is on, F2 is sleep, you can sleep. I'm pressing F2 on my keyboard. Then if I press F3, spot mode will turn on, and F4 have grid mode. And again, in grid mode, there is two options, grid and relative grid. We'll see later in a moment, right? So first we'll see sleep mode, right? So there is sleep mode. So what is sleep mode? So first let me put on the grids. Like we cannot see grids over here. Let me just turn on this insert option as well. Insert same audio. Keep audio like that, right? So now you can see there are no lines. So I can't say like where I am on the track, right? I have to just match this. Like let's say this audio ends over here, so I have to match over there from this line, and I can say I'm at 129th bar, right? So what if I want grid line over here, right? If this line continues over here, so I it will be easy for me to analyze like bars and beats, right? So for that you have to press over here on grid, right? So now you can see there are small lines. Now they are so small because like we have kept grid value like that, right? So from here you can change this grid line, right? Let's say we'll keep at bars and beats. And how many, like what grid line you want? You want every bar to be shown, or like every beat? Like there are four beats in a bar, right? So you want four bits, you want to see four bits in a bar, that you can select from here, right? So it's one bar line, then 1.5 note line is there. That means like one bar line you will get, then half note, and then again bar line, then 1/4 line. So means one bar will get divided into four bits, then again 8, 16, 32, 64. So currently it's at 1/4. So if I move to one bar, so now if I zoom over here, so you can see there are gray lines, and they represent all these bars over here, right? So over here it's 141. So this is 141, this is 137, right? And this is something else, right? So again, another thing, grid line is there. You have to change this from time code to bars and bits. Now you can see this is matching 133, 137, 144, right? So grid value is completely different, and your this value is completely different. Right? Let's say if I hit on this time code, my grid value is still on bars and bits. These grids are showing me bars and bits, not time code. Right? So if I want this line to be matched with time code, then I have to change it from here. Right? So now all these lines are in uh, bars and bits. Okay. So now let's put on bars and bits. Okay. Let's divide into four. Right. So now you can see one bar line and there are four bits line. And that means four bits part. Right. So if I want to move this audio now, if I move this audio will move freely, right? With the grabbing tool, I'm moving this. So you can see when I zoom, right, it moves smoothly, right? So, so when you are in sleep mode, you can move audio clip freely, right? It will not get snapped to next grid value, right? Unlike in grid mode, right? Now let's check grid mode. So what will happen in grid mode? Now this my audio starting line is between two grid line, right? So once I start moving, it will just shift to a next grid line, right? And from there it will move grid by grid only. You can see over here, it moves grid by grid only, right? So now even if I zoom out and if I'm moving this audio clip, it will move by grid only. Anyhow, like wherever I've kept this audio, my starting point will be at any grid, right? Because now I have kept this 1 by 4 option. So it will be on some bit or bar, right? Or if I keep this on bar only, then it will move by grid, right? Grid by grid, I mean one bar, right? So whenever I leave this anywhere, so definitely it will be on a bar, on a particular bar. You can say you can see it by like now it's showing 12 bar. So if I move, so you can see over here at this point, you can see or over here start point, you can see like where it's moving 13 bar, 12 bar, 11, 10, 9. So now it's moving bar wise. Right? If I change this value to 1.5 bit, so now this value will get changed. So one bar, then I'll get one bar, third bit, then second bar, then second bar, third bit, right? So see, one bar, third bit, two bar, two bar, third bit, right? So this is how it moves. So this this becomes easy when you want to edit or when you want to move audio and when you know that you want to move audio in a bar like you want you know already ki you want to put this audio in a bar only or maybe you have a bar 4 bar loop or something like that. So in that case keeping grid value to bar will help you, right? Otherwise, like whenever you don't want to move audio in respective to grid, then you can turn this editing mode to sleep mode and in again then this mode it will move smoothly. So in some cases audio will not start at grid points. In that case you can like in sleep mode you can match where it should be, right? Mostly in vocal track, music, they don't start exactly on bar. They start early before bar, or some in cases they start after bar. So in that case, you need this sleep mode, right? So got this point, sleep mode and grid mode. Okay, now next. we'll see shuffle mode. Alright, so what is shuffle mode? Shuffle mode is basically, now you can see I cannot move this audio clip. Alright, so in shuffle, you can't move anything once it is imported, right? So you can't move audio, right? So if, let's say, if I delete something over here, right? If I press delete, you can see that particular event has been cut, but also that time slot is also got deleted, right? Not like in normal mode, like in sleep mode or gate mode, what happen if you delete, that audio clip will get deleted, but that time slot will get empty, right? That empty slot is still there, right? But in grid, in shuffle mode, if I delete this audio clip, right, then in that case, what will happen? This clip will get deleted, and the same time, this clip will get attached to the next audio event, right? So whatever blank section was there will get deleted, and your next audio clip will move. So at the same time, you are deleting that audio event, and you are deleting that time slot as well, right? Same thing over here. Now this audio clip is like, you can see over there is a blank slot is there, right? So let's say if I select this empty slot randomly, right, and if I press delete, so now this audio will move by this distance, right? So if I if I press delete, right, so you have seen that this audio have moved forward, right? So this can help you while you want to edit, right? And you just want to move whatever after delete. Once you delete whatever is left behind, you just want to move that thing. In that case, you can use this mode, shuffle mode, right? And then we have spot mode. In spot mode, like even if you try to move audio clip, it won't move. It will ask you position where you want to move this audio event. Let's say in a particular, some particular case, if I want to move this audio clip to particular time or some bar number, let's say if I am working in a music. So in music, like we work on bars and beats, or if we are in film, so we mostly use time code. Let's say a particular dialogue is there. I know that this dialogue comes on 10th minute of the video, right? So in that case, I will select this minute and second, and over here I will mention the time, right? So this is time, seconds, and millisecond, right? So over here I'll mention 10th minute, right? And if I hit enter, so that audio is now moved to 10th minute. Now over here you can see it's moved to 10th minute over here. Sorry, right? So this is what more will help you when you know like where you want to move your audio events. Otherwise, it's not necessary that you have to always have to go in spot mode and you have to move audio clip to a particular point. There are some other ways as well, but still this option is there, right? Mostly you will be working in sleep or grid mode. Okay, now let's see the relative grid, right? So now let me just zoom over here. I'll just take this audio, or we'll take this audio. I'll just zoom right, and let's say now, as you can see, it's in grid value. So this, because of that, this audio clip is moving grid by grid only, right? So now what if I keep this on relative grid? Now what is relative grid? Let's say, as I said, most of the times audio, vocal track in music, they don't start on grid point. They mostly starts on before grid line, right, or after some or after grid line, right? So this is my exact starting point. Let's say this is some audio and this audio has to be start after this grid point, right? Just take this as an example. This audio has to be start after this grid line and this gap should be maintained all the time, right? So what will happen now if I'm in grid mode and if I move this thing, so first what will happen, this audio start will stick to the grid point and afterwards it will move grid by grid. So I don't want that, right? So for that, in that case, I'll turn this grid into relative grid. Now, if now if I move this audio event, this gap from this grid line will be always maintained, right? So if I start moving this, so now you can see that gap is maintained, right? So this is what we call relative grid. So in relative grid, even if I like, let's say zoom out, now I can't see like where my starting point, but I know I have left that some I have left some what we empty slot over there, right? And I'm in relative grid. So even if I move now from here, I know still that gap is maintained, right? So now even if I zoom over here, you can see that gap is still maintained. So this is up to you where you want to use relative grid or grid mode, right? When you know all your audio clips or audio events are going to start on a grid point only, then you can keep it on grid, right? And when you know like, oh, there are some files they don't start on grid point, in that case, better to keep it at relative grid. Okay. Then again, right, if you are in sleep mode, right, and let's say uh, you press shift and you click on grid, right? So now you can see all both modes are on, sleep mode also on and grid mode is also on, right? In that case, let's say if you move this audio clip, now you can see when I am moving, my audio clip is in sleep mode, right? So my moving is now in the sleep mode. So it won't move grid by grid, right? But if I click on the audio event wherever I want to click, it that cursor will get on grid value only, whatever grid value I have kept over here, right? So now it's 1.5 bit, right? So that's why either it will come on bar or it will come on or any bit, right? 1.5 bit, right? So it's depend on grid value. If I move to 1/4, so now I have 4 bits in a bar, right? We'll take this class later about bars and bits. What is exactly bars and what is bits? Most of you must be knowing what is bar and bit, right? So now this is 1/4, so that's why my cursor is moving only on bars or bits, right? So if I turn this on, if I sleep mode, then wherever I want to click, I can click on any part in sleep mode. But in grid mode, I can only click on grid. My cursor will get on grid only, right? And you can, by pressing shift, you can turn this both mode on, right? Again over here, shuffle and grid, same thing will happen. You can't move this audio clip now. Only thing like you can delete empty space or whatever audio event you have, you can delete those audio event or empty space, hit delete, and the rest, whatever is behind, will move front. Okay, same thing with spot and grid. So shift spot or like press shift and press on grid, it will turn on. Okay, spot and grid, I guess it's not there. right? Spot and relative grid. So you just have to press shift. Right, so these are the mode you can use while editing audio, right, or producing music or whatever sound designing you are doing. So that times this will help you, right, to make editing easy. Right, mostly we'll be working, as I said, mostly we'll be working in sleep or relative grid mode. Right, in very few cases you need shuffle and spot mode. Okay, but mostly we'll be working in sleep and relative grid mode, right? Then after this editing mode, you can see there are some other tool as well. So these are zoom tools, right? So over here you can see the same shortcut key we have already seen, R and T. R is for zoom, right? Right, so R is for zoom out and T is for zoom in. It's not working over here. PCI started lagging. Will not using enough video to information. Right, so I'm not pressing anything. I'm not showing you by pressing anything because this software is lagging. So we'll just see this menu and we'll stop. So over here, if you press over here, you can increase height of the waveform, right? So pressing on this above arrow, it will increase the height. Pressing below on this arrow will decrease the height of this waveform, right? So it's not increasing the level of the audio, but only increasing the height. So in some cases, like you can see now this audio event at its default height, right? So now it's like you can say like it's at maximum, right? You can see it clearly, but in most cases, like you get very a small audio clip, the level is not that loud. So in that case, you want to increase the waveform height so you can see it properly. So in that case, you will click this on up arrow and you can increase the height of the waveform. So that's why this option is there. Also, there is shortcut key. Alright, so shortcut key is control open square bracket. So if you press this key, it will increase the height of the waveform. Control shift, control option, open square bracket and close square bracket. So from these two keys, you can increase or decrease waveform height. Okay. If you want to set to default now, like let's say if I have imported and I don't know what is the default height. So for that you have to press control option start key on Windows start key or on Mac control command option and open bracket, open square bracket. So it will set that audio clip waveform height to default. Okay. Then again over here you can see the left arrow and right arrow. These are the same function what we get from pressing R and T. So if you hit R over here is the same pressing this line. Right, so this is also the same function of zooming in and zooming out, right? So this is zooming in, this is zooming out, and then again this is again the same thing to increase MIDI zoom in and zoom out, right? we'll see this option when we'll start media editing. Right, so we'll see this part later. And then there is a custom zoom option over here, 1 2 3 4 5. Now like we are pressing R and T. Let's say if I want to zoom over here, right, so I have to press T twice, thrice, or maybe 5 times or 6 times, unless I get that proper zoom. So I have to press this T. Right, so how many times I press? Like 9 times, 10 times, right? So you have to press this R and T most of the time. So you get this custom zoom tools over here 1 to 5. Alright, so if you hit on one number, you get this zoom by default. If you press 2, you get this zoom by default. If you press on 3, this zoom option, default zoom option on 3, then on 4, and then on 5. So you can customly save this option. Right. So as you can see, 1 is not that zoom compared to 2. Right. Right, 2 is zoom out, right, and 1 is quite zoom in compared to 2 number, right. So you can save whatever zoom value you want to save in this number. And let's say if I zoom over here and I want this value to be recalled when I press 5 number. So what I have to do is just like set whatever zoom value you want. Right, so now I want this zoom value. Then press Control, or in case of Mac, you have to press Command and click on this 5 number. So once I click on 5 number, it will start blinking. See, have you seen like it blink twice or thrice? So now that value have got saved on this 5 number. Again, let's say on pressing any number, let's say 4 number, I want all my edit window to be zoomed out. Right, so what I have to do, I'll just zoom out everything, and I want this zoom out view to be saved as a my my key, like shortcut key, or as you can see whatever. Right, so this view, this zoom view, I want to save. Alright, so what again I have to do, press Control and click on phone number. So now these value are saved. So now 4 and 5 values are saved. Right, so what I can do now, pressing 4 number or 5 number on your keyboard, not on numerical keypad, but on other 4 and 5, will recall this value. Right? So now let's say if I press over here and if I press 5 number, I instantly get the same value. If I press 4, back to zoom out. If I press over here, 5 number, instantly zoom in, right, and then instantly zoom out. So this function is quite handy, right? Or else you can press one number, you can save multiple options here over here, multiple zoom values over here, right? And then again the same option is over here. This is zoom toggle view. So what is zoom toggle view? Let's say this audio is at particular height. So now we have, in this option we have seen the zooming in and zooming out option horizontally, right? Vertically it's not zooming in, right? What if I have 100 tracks, right? So if I have 100 track, I cannot keep every track height at this level, right? So let's assume like we have so many tracks and the track height is around this length, right, at this height. And what if I want, like I'm just editing and I just go back and forth from one track to second track, and that time I'm having problem, like every time I have to move this thing, I have to increase the height. So in that case, this option is there. So this option is zoom toggle option. So first, let's say if I select something and if I hit over here on this zoom toggle option, right? So you can see now this audio, whatever region I have selected, got zoomed in, and also that height is also got increased, that track height. And again, if I turn this off, it will go back to original size, whatever we were working with, right? So wherever you select anything and you press this zoom toggle, anyway, shortcut key for zoom toggle is E. So if you press E on the keyboard, it will zoom that per whatever section you have selected and again zoom out. Alright. So now when you press E, so now you are in zoom toggle. So in the zoom toggle view, if you move track height, if you change track height, or if you change zoom option, zoom in and zoom out option, that option will get saved into your zoom toggle. Now let's say in earlier it was like at this position. Now I have just changed to this track height. So now this track height will get saved into this zoom toggle option. So now if I hit E back to normal, select this area, any region you want, and again once you press E, so it will recall the previous value which was got saved into zoom toggle option. So if I hit E, right, oh, should be like this only. Okay, maybe in setting, there is an option, right? In setting, if you go in setup, preference, so there is an option. So in that option, they have set track height to some particular label. So that's why it's maximizing to that level. So in display mode, there is this option, editing, zoom toggle, vertical, midi zoom, vertical, zoom toggle, track view, fit to window, track height, fit to window, last use. So you have to mention over here last use, right? Any like we are going to see this all this menu, but as I want quickly, I just want to show you that this saving option is there. So you have to press this on last use, or you can just set to medium height, large height, jumbo height, extreme height, or fit to window. So earlier it was fit to window. So whenever I am pressing E, so that track height was getting set to fit to window option. Right, so now we have just switched to last use. Press OK. Now if I press E, okay, it's not responding. So you must have got the idea. Like if you press now E, so whatever last position, whatever track height was saved, or whatever height I have used, that height will get that height length will get recalled. Yeah, you can see now. E zoom toggle is on. So again, if I press E, back to normal. Again, if I press E, you get this zoom view. So now if I move this to this track height, so now this thing will get saved into this zoom toggle. As long as this zoom toggle button is on, whatever last height or zoom value you set, that will be get stored into this zoom toggle option. Right? Hope you are getting this point. Right? So this is zoom toggle view. Right? Then there this is zoomer tool. So if you turn this on zoomer tool, you can select any region and just leave it. That particular region will get zoomed in. Right? So now your tool has changed to zooming tool only. You don't get now this all editing tools. Now your cursor is set to zoom tool only. Then again in same zoom tool there is single zoom option is also there. So now my tool is activated to single zoom. If I select any region, if I leave, so I get that particular region zoomed in, but my cursor will turn into smart tool. Now you can see my cursor is in Smart Tool. And again, zoom out. If you want to turn on single zoom option, you have to press F5. So now you can see my cursor now is magnifying glass. Select a region where you want to be zoomed in. Remove, you get that zoom in section and your cursor will turn into Smart Tool. Right, so these two options are there, normal zoom and single zoom. Right, so there are so many options. Again, already we have seen this 1 to 5 option, so you can work in that way using 1 to 5 option. Then there is zoom toggle option is also there. Then again, this custom zoom is also there. Right, then this is scrubbing tool. Scrubbing tool is basically if you start moving. Now you can see the cursor now it's looks like speaker, right? So you can press anywhere and you can start moving, right? Pressing by pressing mouse key, left hand button, and if you start moving back and forth, so it will give you audio at that particular point. So whatever audio is there will be audible to you, right? And depending on the speed of your mouse cursor, that audio will get played. If you start moving slowly, so you will get audio at very low pitch level because your speed is reduced. And if you start moving it in fast forward direction, so it will be played as in a fast manner, right? I'm not showing you because it requires lots of processing power. That's why I'm not showing you. But if you have Pro Tool at your home, so you can try, right? Always before starting, go to a particular point, press over there, and then start playing. Now you can see now I'm moving my mouse cursor, but I'm moving it slowly. So that's why that low pitch kind of sound you are getting. Right? So the audio is playing very slowly, right, in reverse direction. Okay, so there is no fast forward. There is either at a low speed or whatever normal speed we have, normal playback speed, right? If you start moving mouse very fast, so it will play audio at normal speed, right? So if you want to if you want to analyze some audio, right, and by this scrubbing tool, if you want to analyze better, always go to particular point, click over there and hold for 1 or 2 seconds and then start moving, right? What will happen if you go to a particular point and suddenly you start scrubbing over there, might you will get some error stating that your processing power is not enough to analyze audio, right? So because of that, what I'm suggesting, go to particular point, click over there, stay for 1 or 2 seconds over there and then start moving audio cursor back and forth, so you can listen audio over there. So these still now you can ask me like why we need this tool, scrubbing tool, when we can just hit play and we can listen. So in some cases, like there are some glitches in audio, we want to analyze those glitches, but because in particular time you cannot analyze like where it is exactly, so in that case this scrubbing tool will help you. You can just, let's assume in this particular point there is some glitch is there, I can hear but I cannot spot instantly, right? So in that case I'll click over here, right, and I'll move audio back and forth, so I'll come to know exactly where is the problem in that audio is, right? Then there is pencil tool to draw something, right? And this menu, different menus are there that these menus will see in tomorrow's class, right? So whatever these menus are there, we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Today we'll stop here. Okay. Hope you practice on your home laptop or whatever computer you have. Okay, and we'll see tomorrow.